I know this one.
It's just a wedding podcast.
This episode is brought to you by Sound Precision Entertainment and Cufflink Media, Cleveland's best DJ, photo, and video team. When it comes to your big day, why juggle multiple vendors when you can have one amazing team? We're going to save you time, money, and stress because we're better together. From packed dance floors to photos and cinematic video, we've got you covered from I Do to The Last Dance. Book your wedding dream team today at spedj.com and cufflinkmedia.com. Find the links in the description below. What is going on, guys? We are back with another episode of the It's Just a Wedding podcast. How are we doing? How are we feeling?
It's just a wedding.
Again.
It's just a wedding. Nick gets upset I asked Julia first. So, Nick, how are you doing today?
I'm lovely. I'm a new man with a new haircut. We're doing great.
You are rocking the slightly more pompy pompadour, it looks like.
Very less pompy. Now it is.
It looks the same.
It's an elevated pomp.
It's we're going for the slick back, but we're going out the sides a little bit, so we're doing well.
Redefining slick back, if you will.
We're taking it to a new level.
Okay. We're going to need a few more weeks to see,
Check up on us 5 episodes from now.
to
We'll
see
how we're going.
how we end up with the slick back. But you guys may notice that we have another lovely guest here today. So this is Krista Zivcic. She's been published multiple times, including a magazine cover, big shot, and she works across weddings, portraits, events, and even motorsports, photographing some of the finest racers in the world with NHRA. Her style is bold, creative, and emotionally driven, often recognized in Drag Illustrated's 30 Under 30 in 2024. We are so excited to have her on the show. When she's not behind the camera, you can find her hanging out with cats and horses, which is hilarious, playing video games, or rocking out to whatever concert is in town that week. And we're excited to have her on our team and on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, Krista Zivcic.
Excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
If that wasn't an opening,
It was. What an intro.
And a special thank you. So when she leaves here today, she has a 13-hour car ride to northern Minnesota.
Yep, Minnesota.
Northern Minnesota, which just sounds awful. I'm going to be honest with you.
It's definitely the longest trip that I'll take this year, for
And
sure.
you're by yourself in the car?
Yeah. Oh,
Are you going
usually
to be listening to It's Just a Wedding podcast?
that's the first thing I turn on every single time I get in the car.
I figured.
Yeah, not to a date or a member.
Yeah. There you go. You know me so well.
Hey, I do my research.
And he just asked that about 3 minutes before we hit record on the camera.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, way to ruin the joke.
So, guys, what I'm excited about, so in full disclosure, one of the things that makes today so fun and maybe a bit more relaxed for us than even normal is not only is Krista a respected photographer in her field, but she also is on our team and works with us over at Cufflink Media. So she knows Julia real well. She's worked weddings with both Nick and myself, so it's a whole lot of fun. And if this was the Seinfeld show, I guess the title would be It's That One Photography Show. So today is going to be talking photography because why not? It's our first time having another photographer on the cast. We had DJ Rev Dev on earlier. He was fantastic. We did DJ episodes. This is going to be the photography episode. So Julie had a little bit of a sore throat today, so we had to give her some Tylenol. Are you going to be good to go for the ep now?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I got a drink here, too, to help, in case I lose my voice at any time.
So what I want to do is this one's all about photography, the do's, the don'ts, the unspoken rules, the cringy mistakes, and the moments that unfortunately will live on forever, whether you want them to or not. And that's what today's about. So one of the first things that I wanted to kind of bring up and kind of a topic to sort of discuss is this idea of what is Instagram versus reality and setting realistic expectations for wedding photography. So, Julia, let's start with you here for a minute. Let's talk a little bit about, so when you have a client who is walking through their itinerary, their day, their types of photos, walk me through just your initial thoughts on what it takes to be, or what it means to have an Instagram versus reality, what your initial opinion is.
A lot of people look at Instagram and they see these highly stylized images of weddings that are usually probably fake weddings. And things like that, or extremely edited to the point where they almost look fake or a Barbie in a way. And some people grab that and they think that they can do that same thing on their wedding day, or like these crazy stylistic photos that are posed, everything like that, which is possible, but it's not going to look exactly the same because everyone looks different. Also, it depends on your timeline of your day, even if you have enough time to take crazy stylized pictures of
For sure.
like that.
And a little bit later on in the episode, we are going to get into a bit more specifically about like timeline and how to maybe structure your day in a way that allows for some of those things to happen. So Krista, as the other photographer here on the panel, walk me through what your idea is, because again, like we're always kind of blurring that line between what's a photo that we can take that's going to be killer for our Instagram and our brand versus like what's the photo that's going to look best on the mantle of one of our clients. So what's your thoughts on that?
It's also, to tack on to what Julia said, it's a whole taboo in the industry where people are using these stylized shoots and claiming them as an actual wedding, where real couples don't always look like that, or that's not their aesthetic, and you want to be true to who you are. And just because you see pictures on Pinterest where, there's these fantastical shoots and crazy lighting and stuff, or these people are taking hours and hours, it's a curated photo shoot, whereas you don't have that kind of time on an actual wedding day.
So this is actually a great point. So I'm going to let Nick elaborate, because one of the things that we did literally just, I guess it was the fall of 2023, we partnered with Ursula and Julio over at the Lantern Room, and we did this awesome style shoot with some of the best vendors in Cleveland. At that time, we asked Nick to be our stand-in model because we couldn't hire a professional. And
What does that mean? And the next best thing, baby. What?
I feel like my words spoke for themselves. So we had Nick stand in, but Nick, talk to him about like what that day encompasses, because Chris is exactly correct. I mean, a wedding day is obviously a 6, 7, 8 hour day, but it's filled with family and it's filled with friends and dancing. Whereas we were there for like almost like 10 or 12 hours that day. You went through hair, you went through makeup. We were sponsored by you walk them through kind of like what that looked like for you.
Well, first of all, it was fun. I enjoyed it. And to bounce off the other idea of these Instagram versus reality things, these girls be going wild for Instagram, and you need to just do you and fit what's fit your vibe. So stop trying to be other people. Just fit your own vibe. Now, to talk about that day, we had to pick up tuxes a few days before, get fitted, have them come in, pick them up. So there was a lot of planning before I even got there. After that, we spent 12, I think almost even 14 hours just setting up different stage areas. So there was the reception area, there was the I do moment, there was the first dance, there was multiple different dances, there was sitting at the table, sitting at the sweethearts table. Right. All in all, I mean, we had a full spread of food. We had all these appetizers and food, and 12, 14 hours of shooting later, we had a nice little video, which you should drop in the comments.
And I remember maybe one of the biggest differences was, at a wedding during your first dance or whatever, you get one shot. It happens one time,
Right.
It's one moment.
Yeah.
Like that day you were being directed, like how many photos and moments of video, did we do for each one of those moments?
I mean, each individual location or scene was probably 100, maybe 150 different photos, just trying to choose the best one. I was in a particular spot for 10, 15, 20 minutes, where on your wedding day, you only have one
Right.
3-minute slow dance song. For
So
your
I guess we're kind of taking the mask off this a little bit, like the industry secret of it all, because, every vendor there, whether you're the floral person, the makeup person, the photo, video, DJ, they want their best foot forward in every single photo. So, like, literally, makeup is going to look good in every single photo because those makeup artists are literally there waiting for one little thing that needs to be
Yep.
fixed. The people styling hair are kind of fixing flyaways, all of those things. So you really need to be careful of that. So when you're taking a look at photographers, you're looking at their book of business, their portfolio, it may be worth the question, like, hey, is this from an actual wedding or was this a styled shoot? And maybe a really good way to dig even deeper, just say, like, can we see a full gallery? Because you'll be able to tell pretty quickly when you see a full gallery whether something was a styled shoot or whether something was, an actual real wedding for that day.
Yep.
And I think you've all sort of hit on this, but I think something that sounds like it should be so just commonsensical, but it kind of gets away from people is your photos should be about you on your wedding day. Trends are going to come and go, but images should reflect your personality and your relationship. So, Nick kind of touched on it. We don't want to compare yourselves to other brides or what their day looked like or their dress. Like, you need to be you on your wedding day. So what's going to make you look best in your photos is just if you are your true, authentic self. I've actually heard, Julie, you actually give that type of advice to brides. Like, why don't you talk about, like, a bride like trying to try to not stay in the comfort zone as opposed to doing things that might take her out of. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Scott from It's Just a Wedding podcast, and we are so excited at the trajectory of what this podcast has been doing. So I'll tell you what we're looking for. We are looking for sponsors. If you have a product or a service that you think would be highlighted really well right here on our show, we want to hear from you. Hit us up at Gmail at itsjustaweddingpodcast@gmail.com or find us on all the socials out there. So.
Yeah. So what I do is I create more candid moments to get more candid images. That way it has them at their best moments, has them looking like their best selves.
And it's authentic.
Yes. So I'll create like movements or little prompts like, hey, pick her up, twirl her around, run in and grab her, going for a kiss, like fun little things like that. And it's fun for the couple too. They'll be laughing, having a good time. And then they'll also create phenomenal images. Those are usually the best ones.
And Krista, elaborate on this because I made a note here. Live in the moment, don't perform the moment.
Yeah.
And I think that's the common misconception between, what is a candid photo versus a stage. It can still be candid and not be performed. So kind of why don't you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, when I shoot, a lot of times, when you bring up those prompts and everything, they'll feel really awkward to do. Like the couple will kind of not, it's not a natural thing to like swing each other around and like lean into each other like that. But it makes for great photos. Like those movements, the more you can incorporate that, the more natural it's going to look in camera. And all it takes is quickly showing them the actual photo in the back of the camera, and they're like, oh, okay, and they just lean right into it.
Yeah.
So, Krista, do you have any ways that you make a bride or groom feel a little more natural? Maybe they're nervous. How do you get them to calm down?
Usually I try to incorporate a lot of my personality into my
So a lot of
shoots.
cussing is what you're saying?
A lot of cussing. I'm pretty clumsy, so usually I will trip or fall or whatever over something during the shoot because I'm trying to get all the different angles and everything. But it's just being an actual person to them and not showing up buttoned up and like super, super professional. Like you want to be professional, but you also want to be personable.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that speaks to it's professional, but maybe not in the way that we're referring to. Because a professional shows up, they understand their equipment, they understand their camera, they know their settings. So what they're able to do is all of that goes into muscle memory mode down here, and you're focused on the client, you're building rapport, you're building a relationship, all of that kind of stuff. It's the people that are having to focus more on what their hands are doing down here that lose a little bit of that connection
100%.
up here. And actually another thing that we'll drop in the comments, so about a year and a half ago, Today's Bride wrote a really great article about Cufflink Media, about like basically how to feel comfortable in front of the lens and how we help you do that behind the lens. So that was a really cool article. So if anybody still wants more information about that, I think that'd be a great thing to kind of take a peek at because it was well done and well written. Nick, I want to ask you as a non-photographer, so this is like the great debate in weddings, right? So it's the quality over quantity debate. And many photographers go out, and they can allude to this, but Julia said last episode that like an average wedding could have anywhere from 4,000 to 6,000 raw images, which then get culled down to our final deliverable ends up being typically between 650 and 800 photos. Some brides hear that number, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's more photos than I ever thought I could ever need. And honest to goodness, some brides hear those numbers and go like, that's it? Which is kind of shocking to me. But as a non-photographer, if you were getting married tomorrow and you were spending on average, $3,500, are you more of a quality guy, or would you want more memories even if they were slightly less in quality?
Well, that's tough. I think I'd rather have the quantity of photos because you can relive the moment better if they're catching every instance versus just a few instances. Also, let's say the quality isn't there from a editing perspective, that could always be fixed on the back end. So I personally would rather have the quantity just to capture more of the overall evening.
Well, and one of the things that we do is we do give our brides and grooms the ability to purchase raw photos on the back end. So whether they want to just bring us a drive and then just pay us for the images, or we can provide the drive. That's always something worth noting. But I guess a nice thing to talk about, and I'm going to let Krista even explain it further as a photographer, what it means to be a raw photo. Like, I think sometimes people think that, like, oh, we see 650 beautiful photos, and if they have 6,000, it means, like, all 6,000 were, like, these perfect, beautiful photos. So, why don't you explain to a bride, like, if they were to look at your raw photos, like what they would be seeing on top of the beautiful images that you captured.
So I tend to shoot a little bit underexposed because especially if we're outside, I want to preserve like the sky. I don't want it to look like blown out and super bright, but
Shane always says you got to protect.
You got to protect the highlights.
Protect the highlights.
Always. And they look very dull. Like raw photos look dull. There's so much information that the camera is getting from the image that getting a raw photo, you're going to be disappointed. You want the edited version, you want the polished version. And I've seen it both ways where photographers will have clients, they'll give them all the raw photos and then they can pick out their favorites. And the way that I do it is...
That sounds like a nightmare.
That sounds like a nightmare to me. So the way I do it is I will go through and pick the most flattering ones, the ones I think are the best, and deliver them that way. Mm-hmm. And everything's edited, it's ready to go.
Sure. And that's the thing. It's like if you're going to buy this raw photo package, as long as you understand and have the right expectation as to what that might be, a picture of the grass, getting exposure. That might be testing, So some of those things are not going to be these cherished memories that Nick might be referring to, but it could just truly be a test shot of a pencil.
Yeah, how many times do you and I take test shots during a wedding day?
We take a lot of test shots. You'll also
All
have
the
the
time.
blurred images in there, the ones that didn't focus right.
Right, you're making a
all
funny
the
face.
Little wonky ones that happen as you're going, they're going to be included.
Yeah.
Now, in a world of, content creators now professionally, and just in a world of content creation and social media, a note that I made that I thought was interesting that I would love to get your opinion on, Julia, is every moment for social media, or is it okay for a bride and groom on that day to have a special moment or time where maybe it really is just between them, that there's no camera in their face, there's no cell phone in their face, and it doesn't need to go up online to get 1,000 likes and shares and things of that nature?
Honestly, I think that every moment should not be for social media. I don't think the whole wedding day should be meant for social media. It's about the couple. I think it'd be good to try to incorporate more often, if you're a bride or a groom, to try to fit in some time that you guys just cherish alone time together on such a busy day.
We actually had a bride, remember, over at the Aviator where they wanted some alone time, and they specifically told us in the meeting, there was going to be some X-rated stuff going down, and they needed about 15 or 20 minutes. Remember that conversation?
Oh my God.
I won't say the client's name, but they told us. They were like, "We need a little alone time," something we've always talked about wanting to do, and
hey, good for you.
we were there for it.
It's your wedding day, man.
We've seen a lot of couples do the private last dance.
I love that.
Big thing. I think
That
that's
is a
really
big one.
cool. I think it's really authentic and just such a deep, serene moment. I think that's a great way to get some alone time as well.
Yeah.
Some even go off after couple photos and things just to go off and hide and have a moment to themselves while cocktail hour is still going on.
Have some snacks and everything and sit down together. I think that's
guess,
great.
Nick, that brought up a good point. So
All of them.
you're full of shit.
That was good.
So the private last dance is really cool, but I have seen over and over again. Now, to be clear, we are in the business of making our clients happy. So if you want our photographer there till midnight and capture that moment, happy to do it. But what I can tell you is a typical photographer is going to have the images that they need by typically 9:30 or 9:45, and when they're sitting around for an extra 2 hours waiting to capture this private last dance, there's other ways to get similar photos. It could be a room reveal photo. It could be, you take a few moments away with your photographer and sneak outside for, moon and the stars type shot.
Yeah.
Where it just seems to me that, maybe once the room has been completely ransacked by all your guests and drinks have been spilled and the DJs are sweaty and all the things that happen, that, that might not be the most important thing that needs to be documented. And maybe that's one of those moments that really would live better just in your memory banks as opposed to, throughout the rest of your gallery, if
And
you will.
sometimes even during the last dance, some of the guests aren't all gone. Some of them
It's
still
never-
They want to hang around
It's
and
never
be
actually
a part of it. No.
I mean, as DJs, Nick and I are literally having to say stuff like, "Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to go." Get the fuck out of here. Because people, they're drinking, they're talking about the after party, they're finding their purse, their shoes. I mean, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be something that you want to move up to maybe before everything happens.
Yeah,
Well,
or tell
usually,
your
like, we're
Room
having to
reveal.
tell people to leave
Yeah.
15 or 20 minutes early so that we can get it in by the end of the wedding.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you really want to waste 20 minutes of your wedding so that you can have this 3-minute,
Right.
drunken, circle in the center of your day? I don't know.
You're sweaty.
Yeah, it's
Tired.
not ideal, so that's just for what it's worth. The other thing that I think is important, so as a non-photographer, I think brides they're watching YouTube stuff, hopefully just like our channel. They're on TikTok and they're on Instagram, and they're getting this like idea of like what things should be like or what to expect. And I think that every photographer has their own, I guess, like process. So like, Krista, what is your thoughts on like trusting the process and like telling a bride, like, take a deep breath. I've been here. I've done that. Like, I am telling you things that are going to be flattering to you and are going to give you the best result on the back end.
Yeah, especially like shooting as many weddings as we do. I've had a lot of experiences with brides, especially during the getting ready portion, where they start to get worked up and kind of panicky about the timeline and where they're supposed to be and when. And it's always my goal to just like bring myself down and be like that calm presence for them and be like, this is your wedding. They're not going to start it without you.
Right.
They can't. So take your time. Don't freak out. And then I'll kind of give them an idea of this is what we have time to do. This is what we don't have time to do. And this is how we're going to move in according to that.
Sure. And I mean, honestly, that's literally like kind of how this whole podcast was named. Like, we understand the importance of a wedding. We're in the wedding industry and we know the utmost importance. But at the same time, you always got to remind yourself, it's just a wedding.
Right.
And everything is going to flow and everything's going to work itself out. And I guess, Julia, under those, same idea of, trust the process, like, refer back to this whole, it's like your day and your story. So I think there is a difference between being overbearing and controlling versus like telling somebody like, hey, this is my day. There's a certain way that I'd like to see things, but doing that in a way where it collaborates well with the photographer and how that is going to result in maybe some better images on the back end.
I most of the time have been having like great clients that just like we talk to each other, kind of create a bond that day.
Shout out to all of our clients.
Yeah.
Awesome people.
They're really relaxed and they're fun. And I do see sometimes they do get stressed, or I have had clients that wanted like every single thing they can do, like possibly have for photos and video. And sometimes it's nearly impossible to get all of it, but we still end up finding a way to figure it out and get it done. And that way I just like talk to them. I tell them, hey, ignore the time. Don't think about it. The day runs on you. Based on what you want to do, nothing will start without you. If I have to stay over a little bit to get the dancing footage that you want, I'm cool to do so.
Can I quote you on that, Julia?
So basically that like takes a lot of their stress away, because like I tell them, like, I don't care about the time. Yes, you paid for 6 hours for me to be here, but also I love what I do. So if the timeline runs behind, and let's say we end up not having enough time to do the dancing, reception, fun photos, I will stay after to make sure I get what they need.
I'm the same way.
As long as the clients are happy, I'm happy. As long as they're not stressed and relaxed on their day, I'm also glad.
So when you're choosing your photographers, find someone like these two who genuinely like what they do. Now, I have a question for you guys. Stereotypically, the guy is more chill, more relaxed, not really too out there in terms of photos. Do you guys, as photographers, lean into that to kind of calm the bride down? And how does that look like?
Do you want to go first?
Shooting the groomsmen is always a fun experience. Usually that falls into my basket because Julia is usually our lead shooter. There's been times I've walked into like houses and they're all in their pajamas playing video games, and
Nice.
I'm happy to be there. Like, hey guys, what's up? And
I think it works both ways, right? Like, I
Yeah.
think like everybody has that person, and I think for some brides, like the groom may feed into the anxiety, and for some brides, this person may be like the calm in the storm. So I think it can go either way depending on what that relationship
I've seen
looks
both.
like.
I've seen relaxed grooms, and then I've seen grooms that are
super
like
tense.
super tense, stressed, worrying
Like-
if they look good. They're like, my hair and
Yeah.
stuff, or they're like really awkward and like nervous.
Yeah.
But I think Both are like fine. The chill ones are cool. You know, I think they help the bride out in the end by being chill. The ones that are more nervous, I think that as they keep going and like
Like
get
you're
to
gonna
see-
escalate the bride. If you're escalated, she's gonna escalate.
I think
to
they
match
usually
you.
end up being chill for the most part.
Now, Nick, as somebody who incorrectly thinks that they are perfect, I want to read
I
this.
never said that.
I want to read this sentence, and I want you to elaborate. The brides with the pressure of perfect, real moments aren't flawless, and that's what makes them timeless.
You want me to react to that?
I do.
Well, first and foremost, I never said that I am perfect. I'm just great. I mean,
All right, I'm out of here.
I didn't even hear what you said. I was too worried about what I was going to respond to you. I'll be honest. Can you repeat that?
Literally, that's exactly the shit that I'm talking about with you.
He's
The
so
pressure of
focused on
being
his hair.
perfect. Real moments aren't flawless, okay? And that's what makes them timeless.
I got one sentence to respond to that, one sentence only. The beauty is in the attempt. No matter what you do, how you do it, it's going to be beautiful regardless. And like you said, flawless and perfection do not mix. So just be yourself.
I want to know who you stole that shit from because I know that didn't come from you.
That's off the dome, man.
I guarantee you that's not off the dome. And I feel like getting ready to kind of bring this full circle and kind of maybe wrap up the segment is your legacy isn't your social feed. Your photo should be a reflection of your life together and not just for your content and followers. And that might be the most important thing to think about. It's your wedding day. You should want to document it. You should want to share it on social media with your family and friends. But like, don't forget to be living in the moment during your wedding so that you actually do have real memories and you just don't have Instagram stories and TikTok reels.
That's a big thing with content creators now at weddings. Have you seen that people have like just to go and make reels
We
or
have.
TikToks and stuff?
We've actually looked at like acquiring a company that does that. And I'm so on the fence about it because like part of me is like, that's cool. And then part of me is like, does that then like take away from what our video and
Right.
photo teams do? So I'm kind of on the fence about
I
it.
think
Yeah.
you should do it. Get ahead of the curve.
I think it's good for like
Not ahead of it. It's already a
company,
thing.
like
They're obsessed.
advertising and like making things like that on that way and behind the scenes and whatnot. But I think that it doesn't need to happen all the time because it can get a little excessive.
Like I think like what is neat about it is you know, you guys know like there are times where you're shooting a wedding on Saturday. In our company I give our staff off typically on Mondays because we worked all weekend, and we'll get an email in the inbox Monday morning like, hey, do you have any photos? We're so excited. And like I laugh and I email back like, Julia has not even been back to the office yet, you know,
Right.
since your wedding. So I think one positive that comes away from a content creator is they are getting, you know, those assets back much more quickly, which maybe can satiate like the want and need for, you know, wedding
Yeah.
content, which then might give you guys like a
Yeah.
little bit of a break. But then the flip side of that is like the spoiler. Like you might have this unbelievable, incredible photo that once it gets processed, it's gonna look great, and maybe the content creator kind of like chimped off it.
Right, was right behind
And
you.
now they've already kind of seen that image, even though albeit not as good. So I literally like I feel
Go back and forth.
very, very torn about this subject, particularly for video, because I mean, they're standing right next to our videographers, getting the exact same movements and the exact same motions. And now, you know, if the lighting is right, these iPhones are shooting, you know, 4K, 60 frames. So I mean, you can really shoot some stuff that, when the lighting is right, you know, could be comparable. And again, I feel like that grand reveal of their main project should be like the first time they experience that, and not what comes off a cell phone or a Samsung, you know.
I agree with
And
that.
for me, it's like a timeline thing. Like, are we pulling the bride away to do like these TikTok trends for half an hour? Like, are you cutting into vital photo time? Are you cutting into like first look time? Like, where is the extra time coming from that you're using this for?
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
true.
Have you guys have either of you shot yet?
I have
with a
not.
content creator yet?
No, I have not. I've seen like brides make TikTok videos when they have time
Yeah.
during getting ready, or like.
A lot of times I feel like
pictures
that's
of
the
them and everything,
bridesmaids
but like
that
that's
are,
the bridesmaids,
or
and
they're
the
setting the
brides. They're
phone
just
up,
having fun,
which
you
is
know,
great.
That's a normal thing, but I've not seen a content creator.
It is coming. So I ran into this past weekend over at the Encore grand opening. Our client Mo, who
Yeah.
you and I went out and did.
Yeah.
And Mo's mom came up to me and actually asked if we would be okay with one of her friend's children kind of like acting as a content creator that day at their
That'd
wedding.
be neat.
So I, of course, was like, hey, as long as they don't get in the way of our shots and
Yep.
they're respectful, like we wouldn't have any issue with it. But so we'll get kind of a firsthand experience of like what that might be like to be dealing.
We should do an episode where we just kind of talk about that a little bit, at least the segments.
Yeah,
yeah.
once we have experienced it, I think it would be really good to do because you're seeing it a lot right now. Like I hear other podcasts talking about there are certain regions and cities in the country where it's more than a fad at this point. It's becoming
Yeah.
almost like the standard. One of the things that we talked about previously, Krista, is there are people now, it's getting out of hand where like the venue has a content creator and the photographer has a content creator and the DJ plus the bride. So like sometimes there are 4 or 5 content creators all there to document different aspects of the wedding.
Yeah.
But yet now they're all getting in each other's way.
Yep.
And it's kind of like, is this whole thing just kind of getting out of hand a little bit? You know?
Also, that's like a lot on the end of like the bride and groom, how many extra vendor meals they have to put out there too. That's
That
a
too.
lot.
Logistically.
As long as I get my meal, Julie.
That's all that matters.
I agree.
I'm well
Feeding
fed,
for
so.
snacks.
Gotta have
So,
the
Krista,
snacks.
one of the things that we always do on these shows are we do kind of like a fun kind of break in the middle. We think it's kind of fun. It sparks some lively debate. So we're going to go with a red flag, green flag, but this time it is, Nick,
Whoa, 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 whoa.
the photography edition.
You don't get to steal my.
I absolutely stole that shit. All right. So red flag or green flag, okay?
Okay.
This is going to be the Pinterest bride hands her photographer a 200 photo shot list from Pinterest.
Red flag.
Red flag or
Red
green
flag.
red flag.
Heavy red flag.
Green
Red
flag.
flag. I'm
Why?
I'm fine with like a small like Pinterest board to like
Yeah,
get a
to get
feel
the
for what they
vibe.
are and get their vibe and stuff. But if you hand me 200 things on there and you want every single one, let's be realistic. That's not gonna happen.
No. And I'm not going to sit here and like be like, okay, check. Got that one.
Yeah.
That's always right.
But you gotta be
start
realistic.
with
If
me,
you
Nick.
want to do 200 different photos on your wedding day, and they're Pinterest board photos, so they're like these stylistic, nice ones usually, you're not gonna have time to do that
No.
unless you budget like 4 to 5 hours.
Honestly, for me, it's a red flag too. You know, I agree. Like a green flag would be like, hey guys, I'm gonna share this board with you. There's 50 images. We don't need you to copy them all, but this gives you kind of like a feel or vibe.
Love
Similar to
that.
us, Nick, we get a request list. Like if we get
Sounds
one,
like you just need to be more efficient. I'm just trying to.
Why are you being controversial for no reason?
For the camera.
You're just saying words and they mean nothing.
Camera.
this guy. All right. Number 2, they coined this the Kim Kardashian blur.
Oh.
Wants every image airbrushed and skin smooth until she looks like a perfume ad.
Red flag.
Is that glam or unrealistic?
Unrealistic.
Red flag.
Yeah. I think there's an art to retouching
Yes.
to where you're still going to look like you, but you're going to look like the best version of you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to send you photos where, you know, there's a bra strap showing or you've got your makeup messed up or anything. Like, those are the things I'm going to fix. If you got some acne or whatever, no problem.
You can
There are
smooth
some
You don't
photos
wanna
where
look
people
like a doll.
Porcelain dolls.
Yeah.
where,
Yeah,
it's
or like the
just
wax
not even,
figures.
like human. Like so.
You can smooth the skin, like do
Yeah.
little adjustments on their face and stuff like that. But you're not gonna turn them into a Barbie doll.
That's a dangerous game to play.
So bonus blur that popped into my head. Is it red flag or green flag? The image where the couple is stationary and they have their bridal party moving and with like blur going around them. Because we've done it. Cufflink Media's had some nice photos that have come out.
We've done it, but I'll say that most of the time you're rarely even getting one good photo out of that.
I'm not into it.
Wow, Krista just says no.
Chris doesn't
It's a
want
no
anything.
for me.
Like I'll do it. I'll do it if you want to do it because I get it. If people
If that's
wanna
on
do
your
that.
mood board, sure, but or even like the intentionally blurry photos now that are like artsy,
Yeah, that I don't understand.
not into it.
I don't understand that either.
If your
I paid
photo's
how
out
much
of
for this
focus,
camera?
It's just bad.
I feel like if you want out of focus photos, like I'll just
Go have
come to
Aunt
the
Jan
wedding.
do it.
I'll do it because I don't know how to shoot photos. You know, and I'll
Nick
just
come
save the
over and
money
do it.
Pay a professional.
Honestly.
That's false. Next one, the Uncle Bob situation. Bride invites her uncle with a real nice camera to shadow the pro.
No. Red flag.
That's red flag.
That's red flag.
That's
You're
the
getting in
big
my
red
way,
flag.
dude.
I'm in the middle.
There's so many
Is there a
times-
yellow?
Oh, she's
Is there a yellow flag?
Why are you being controversial?
Oh my gosh, Nick.
I mean, if I'm not the photographer and they are, cool. You know, cool. But if I'm hired as a photographer and then you're saying that you have your Uncle Bob coming in and also taking photos, and like it's cool if I talk to them and they're nice, but half the time they ended up being right in front of me when I need the first kiss picture
Wow.
or anything that I need
That's
to do
fair.
because they don't
Someone's
understand how
jealous.
it goes.
A little jealousy going on.
Not
here.
jealous. It's just if you're working. Some people don't like. They're what? It's just Uncle Bob who has a camera.
Excuse me. Uncle
A
Bob
re-
who has a real nice camera.
Ooh, real nice camera that probably has on auto.
Definitely.
Oh,
I've got everything against auto.
Shooter from way
If
back.
you get
Oh,
a
no,
camera,
no.
Everything.
if you get a camera
not
and you put on auto and take
Nope.
pictures, and
You're
like,
not a
"Oh, I'm
photographer."
photographer? No, you bought that thing, don't know how to use it, and you put on auto, and you're calling yourself a photographer.
That is literally me.
Amen.
He went out and bought like the leather strap so he feels like he's like a professional.
They don't even. Okay, professional photographers also barely ever use their strap correctly, ever.
That's fair.
Wow.
It just
pro
gets in the
uses
way.
that.
Julia gets a sore throat and all of a sudden she starts throwing bows at the table.
Yeah.
Like, jeez.
Yeah, I'm in the middle on Uncle Bob just because it depends. If they are going to be intrusive and trying to kind of take over my role, then it's a red flag for me. Then we're going to have an issue. If Uncle Bob wants to like hang out behind me and also take some photos just to have for himself and his little family and photo book, I don't care.
Honestly,
Oh,
I
Bob.
can agree with that. I can agree with that one.
If he's going to
After
be
all that
mindful.
Fussing you just did, you're going to agree
She's
with
like,
that?
all right,
Because
fine.
if they're actually like chill and they're just chilling in the
'Cause we've had
background doing their own thing, because we've had that, and I don't care. Like if I don't notice that you're doing that, then you're fine.
That's my
But if I
condition.
notice that you're doing that, then you're definitely in my way. Because if I have to notice you,
Yeah. If I have to ask you to move, then we're not doing something right here.
What if they ask you to edit Uncle Bob's photo?
I'm not
oh
doing
hell
that either.
no, unless you pay me more money.
Right. Where's you gotta
edit
pay me to
them.
do that. That's like when I go to races and fans are like, take a picture of me. And I'm like, you're never gonna see me again. Why do you want me to take a picture of
People just
you?
want to feel important with the picture taken.
Yeah.
Nick would be the guy
I was like that when I worked
ready for
in.
photo? Like, he'd be
I
the
was
guy.
like that when I photographed for football. A lot of fans
Yeah.
would be like,
I
"Take
get
a
heckled.
picture," and I'm like, "You're not gonna see this. It's for the football
Right.
team."
I'm the guy that photographers like Krista take a picture of in the stands because I look good for their portfolio.
Definitely
No.
don't do that.
Wow.
Nice try though.
No, those people are annoying.
Nick, I have news for you. That's incorrect. 100%. You know what you look like? Did anybody? You guys might be too young. Have you ever seen the show Doug on Nickelodeon?
Yes.
No.
It's the only
So there was a
joke
guy
you
by
got.
the name of Roger, green with like orange hair.
Yep.
This is Roger over there.
The only joke you got, and it's not that good anymore.
It's hilarious to me. Do yourself a favor if you're watching this. Google Doug Funny Bully Roger,
Pop it up right
Yep.
here. We'll give you some more editing while you're at it.
and then
Scott will
Yes.
put it right here, and if he
Throw it
doesn't,
on.
then he doesn't care about his fans.
Oh,
his fan. I don't have fans. Let's be honest.
Julie's
All right.
dad.
my dad
Oh,
is
yeah.
the number one fan.
One fan.
If Mr. Webb wants me to pop up a picture of Roger, I'll do it.
He's not going to know. It's going to be released by the time he sees
I
it.
could give him a text.
There you go. We'll get his opinion
Behind
on
the
it.
scenes.
Number 4, the Taylor Swift timeline. What if a bride blocked out 2 hours for folklore aesthetic moody forest shots?
I mean, that sounds like a great time to me.
I think green flag, because if you book out 2 hours,
you're
for
booking
that
it out-
and we can do something fun and creative, I'm down.
I'm into it.
I love the different photos and the creative ones that we can do. Those are always the best.
Do I need to answer this as a DJ or as a potential groom?
Either way.
DJ,
matter.
but you better get it done before the reception because I'm not waiting 2 hours.
Well, if we're blocking
It's
out 2
blocked
hours, then
out.
it's blocked out in the timeline already.
Yeah, but I'm not going to be sitting around for 2 hours. You got to do that before the reception even happens. That's got to be
Usually,
like
it probably will be.
Well, that's
an 11
the
o'clock thing.
that's the point.
As
That's
a
gonna be
groom,
before.
I'm down. Little frog on my shoulder.
What?
Do you understand what the folklore? It's her album. Yeah. Are there frogs as part of that?
No.
No.
I didn't think so.
Don't get me started on
Disney
Taylor Swift.
princesses
man.
over
I'm just
here.
thinking if
Princess
we're
on
in
the
the
frog.
If we're in the forest, we're going to make the most out of it.
So you're gonna go find a frog? Okay.
All right.
The Champagne Rain insists of the big champagne spray shot no matter the mess. Is it fun pop or cliche flop?
Dude, I like it.
Fun.
It's fun because you can get some nice photos from that. We had one from that one wedding we did. Phenomenal.
Although I have seen some crazy TikToks where the groom gets a hold of the bottle and starts like spraying the bride.
Oh.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, don't do
You got to be
that.
careful.
Spray away from
Like you think it's gonna be funny, it's not. It's gonna get real serious.
Like if it gets all over like a gray tux, and now
Yeah.
you got like stains, and now you got editing because you're removing stained champagne off every tux photo, and bride's makeup is running. So I feel like
You got to do it right. You got to spray away.
It's a time
gotta
and
spray
place.
away.
You got to spray away. Don't spray at you. Don't spray towards you. Don't spray towards your bride. Spray away.
Yep.
Never spray it on yourself. That's not good.
the Dua Lipa dress change, 2 to 3 outfit changes, each with its own mini shoot. Is that a fashion moment or a timeline meltdown?
Timeline meltdown.
Immediately.
Wow, red flagged immediately.
Yeah.
To me, I gotta understand what this means. 'Cause 2 or 3, like, that seems a little ridiculous.
lot.
Like,
That's
if we
a
have-
lot.
It's getting to that though.
I know it really is.
I haven't seen 3, but I've seen 2.
I've seen 3.
And I've seen multiple different shoes. They go from like the fancy like heel to like the diamond covered chuck down to like the slipper, all
Yep.
within one evening. Like I've seen them go
Yeah.
like progressively less shoe.
But most of the time, we don't do separate shoots when they do that unless they ask for another dress reveal. But I understand if you're changing. Like, I've seen a bride change into 2 wedding dresses on her day just to surprise her bridesmaids with, like, a dress that they didn't know that she had, which is cool. But she also blocked out the time for it and let me know. But if you're doing 3 outfits, that's a little excessive, in my opinion. But I also don't think you need a fashion shoot for every single outfit.
You heard it here first, ladies. Don't do 3 dresses. It's ridiculous.
That's extra. I mean,
Yeah.
as a guy, switch your shoes a few times. You're good. You know, pop a button or 2. Good.
I
Never
mean, I
mind.
understand having a wedding dress and then changing for the reception or towards the end of the reception to be more comfortable, especially if you're downing alcohol and having a fun time and want to dance around. But having another fashion shoot for that particular dress is a little...
Brutal.
See, in my opinion, like not speaking as a photographer, but as like someone who may get married one day, if I picked out a wedding dress, I want to love that dress so much that that's the only thing I'm wearing all day
Yeah.
until it comes off.
I agree.
Would you be a mermaid style dress gal?
I don't think I would, but I do think I want sleeves.
What?
Yeah.
You have sleeves built in, right?
I got tattoos. I like the sleeves.
Like
I'm into it.
sheer sleeves?
Like lace. I like a lot of lace.
Ooh, I love
Same
lace.
I'm-
Lace is
I'm
so
a lace
pretty.
girl.
I love lace dresses.
For
I'm
sure.
a lace girl too, but I don't know.
Whenever I think of
about
lace,
the
I think of
full
like my
sleeve,
grandma had
maybe,
these
like-
doilies on her table. Like that's the lace that I think of.
I love
Like
lace.
I'm Taylor Swift folklore. That's where I'm at.
You're in the folklore.
I'm
that's why
in
you were
my
doing-
Do you want,
folklore
like a princess,
era.
like line, like a little gown.
I don't know. I can't decide. I have so many things saved on my Pinterest board.
Yeah, I don't know about a dress. I'd have to try them on. to figure
Spoiler,
it out.
Krista's going to hand her future photographer 300 Pinterest shoot ideas.
I'm actually so nervous to like shop around for a photographer just because
That's how
it's
I
so
feel.
hard to like
Because I know what I
pick
want
someone.
and I know what I would like, but the thing is like, if I don't get what I envision, I don't know, because I know how it works.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you and I have talked about this before.
Yeah.
Like we would pick each other, but at the
Yeah.
same time, like I want you to be a guest.
Yeah,
I want you to come
exactly.
party.
That's
Like
how I feel.
I don't want you to have to worry about photos or anything. I want you to be drunk on the dance floor.
Oh man, I'm a good time when I'm drunk on the dance. I am. It's not even debatable. Last one to wrap up the topic. They call it the drone diva. Insist on having indoor drone coverage. Is that cool tech or is that a lawsuit waiting to happen?
Cool.
That's a lawsuit.
What?
Have you ever been near a drone?
I fly drones.
My boyfriend does too, and he'll like land them, and I'll catch them in my hand,
Same.
and it's like wind.
Well, I have a
Like you're in
little.
a tornado.
Mine have covers on the propellers, so nobody can actually.
It's
get
a
hurt.
tiny little drone.
It's
Well,
tiny.
he has like a $4,000
think
drone.
about,
I
like-
have a $200 drone.
Yeah, completely
that's
different.
all you need, though.
If
I
you think
shoot
of-
4K, 60, whatever. We're good.
But I think
don't
if
know.
you
You
think
Can't
about
shoot
like
4K 60. We just discovered
There's
that.
no
Well,
way.
It shoots 1080. It's got
Huge
all-
difference.
No, it's
Yeah.
got all these settings, and I don't know what they do.
Oh
It
my
has the
God.
capabilities, and my footage was so good. It's in your video.
But
Cole's gonna watch this
here's
and be
the
like,
thing, though. Here's the thing, though. If you have a drone and you're hiring someone who knows how to fly a drone, it's going to be a bigger, high-quality drone.
yeah,
Those aren't really meant to fly inside with a lot
no,
of people.
and they're loud. It
Yes.
sounds like a swarm of bees.
And let's say if you accidentally, something goes wrong and it goes crashing, there's a
What are we
possibility of
hitting?
hitting somebody, and then that's a huge lawsuit.
Or God forbid it gets stuck in someone's hair.
So I
Oh,
get one of
yeah.
the little guys like I have. You're
You
good.
never
The
know.
problem is though with the little guys, Nick, is that they have small sensors,
They're
and
unpredictable.
when it gets in a dark environment, the footage is super gray.
Unusable.
So it would be really
It
tough.
was bad at night.
Yep.
It goes into attitude mode. That's literally what it says. It says attitude mode, and it starts going nuts, like running into stuff. Like it's
It's
pretty scary.
unpredictable.
So you think that that's not a liability?
Well, we're not shooting at night, you know. we're
The
indoors.
reception's all in
And it
night
goes running
indoor.
into
Go run
things.
into
Yeah.
attitude mode
Let's
here.
go put it in the wedding.
I swear to God, in attitude mode, it's crazy.
Indoor.
Well, every episode, Krista, we always try to save a quick moment for the guys, the dudes, the fellas. So, Nick, it is now time for
No tucks given.
No Tucks Given.
So to echo off of last week's episode and to fill you in, we talked about groom ceremony, having their own song, things they could do in their ceremony. We also talked about the flower guy tossing out beers or shots
Fun.
or whatever. And the point of these is we want the groom to feel involved in the process just as much as the bride may be, because if the groom likes us, the bride's going to like us, and we're going to do the wedding. So to echo off of that, we're going to expand a little more, and we're going to talk about where the groom can expand in his reception to give himself some more spotlight, to have a better evening as well. Now, I have a few things in there, but I just want to let everybody know that it's your victory lap. You're at the finish line. You're finally here. Let's take advantage of the moment, and let's have a good time, and let's show everybody how excited we are that you guys are finally married. So some ideas that I have to get everybody pumped, that gets the groom pumped, and we could all comment and talk about them. Let's talk about an epic grand entrance. So you have your bridal party introductions where everybody's getting introduced. How can the groom step his personal introduction up? There are a lot of different ways. I think that if the groomsmen want to come and do a shoulder carry, we've seen that once or twice. I think that's super cool. How do you guys feel about that?
That'd be fun.
That'd
for
be fun.
sure.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
We could take it to a new level with smoke machines. We have the Dancing on the Clouds available. CO2 cannon come in, cannon everything.
CO2 cannon would be sick. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
that
lit.
would be neat.
They have these things where you can like get these backpacks for like the Ghostbusters. You throw that shit on your back and like just come in.
Honestly, I'd be down for that.
That'd be awesome
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of the cold sparks too.
Oh yeah, the cold spark.
Cold Sparks, CO2 cannon, Dancing in the Clouds, any one of these things will take your entrance to the next level, but you have to make sure you have the right song for it. Choose a song that's going to, explain you, like how I asked you in the beginning, a song that explains your life. Find a song that explains your life, that you're going to come in and you're going to be like, you're going to feel like you're that artist on stage in front of 100,000 people.
Your hype song.
Your hype song. Exactly. Another thing that a groom can take it up a notch is by having a surprise groom's toast or like a welcome speech. We've seen it all the time where a groom, and usually the bride as well, will have a little welcome speech, maybe an introductory toast, thank you all for coming, etc. But if you're the groom and you want to have a little isolated shot kickoff, like, hey, shout out to the boys, shout out to everybody that came, do it.
And it's just a time to like be a little bit of like a brown nose. Like you get to stand up. You could thank not only your parents, but you can thank your in-laws. It's always a nice idea to give a shout out to all your vendors in the room. It's
Yeah.
gonna make people want to kind of do even more for you, and really just, not do it if you're uncomfortable or embarrassed. But it's just a time again where it's your moment. If there's one time in your life where you should get to be able to stand up and say whatever the fuck you want, it should be in that moment.
Right then.
And then this last one, Nick, that you're going to explain, this might be my favorite of all of them.
Yeah, and I already know where you're going because you're a dancer. We already know that.
Love it.
We want to talk about if a groomsman do a little dance montage. Now, what I think of in my head, which would be so sick, and I want both of your guys' opinions as women, what if the guys came in Magic Mike, just did the little boom, boom,
No.
palm genuine? No?
I'm not into
That
it.
was boom, boom. That was
I'm not into
Those two
it.
beats of the-
I think it depends on your crowd. we have there, but I do love the choreographed dances of grooms and groomsmen, and they have their bride just sitting in the chair. Dude, I love those. I
You're a
love those
dancer.
But, like,
videos.
the guys got to be able to dance though, because like normally it's like a group of guys that are like, wow,
So
it's like they're doing like a
cringy.
quick like NSYNC dance or whatever.
Or they're dancing
Yeah.
down the aisle. Like, I've seen some pretty neat stuff like that, and I'm like, dude, I kind of like that. Like, I would like
See,
that.
I'm not
If
into
we can
it.
dance, I think we should do it.
You think Chris would be able to do a special dance for you?
I don't think he would, but he could dance.
Is he a good dancer?
Yeah, he's actually pretty good. We'll go out and he'll like dance. He knows how to like feel the vibe, music really
Does he
well.
go with the, like the Q-tips in the ear
No.
and then throw them away?
No.
Okay.
To me, unless you're like a practiced dancer, like someone like Julia, a lot of times it's gonna feel awkward.
Excuse me,
Maybe-
you've never seen me as an unpracticed.
I would pay money.
Let me tell you something.
I can attest.
Yeah.
I hate to give Scott his props, but he can dance.
I'd be one of those
That's
brides.
from a narcissistic prick like that.
I'm a self-proclaimed douchebag, so you don't get to call me that.
I'd be
Oh,
one of those
Lord.
brides that made a choreographed dance on her wedding day for my groom. And he'd be like sitting there, and I'll do that.
Not a chance in hell from me.
Yeah,
I love to dance.
So what if your guy
Not a
came out
chance.
and did a magic mic set to you? Would you not?
That feels like a humiliation
I
ritual.
would have fun with that.
Yeah.
I would have fun with it.
Like my grandma is in the crowd and you're stripping in front of me.
Wait, are
Okay,
they?
you don't have to
don't
strip.
Don't strip. Don't do that.
That's the vibe.
You don't have to strip.
What if
but
we
you can still hit
play?
You're gonna play
Shirts and
Pony?
Skins at your wedding? Are you into
What?
that?
What is that?
You never played like as a kid like basketball? The guys say
Shirts versus skins.
No, I have not. Being a woman.
I know what that is.
I mean, I know what it is, but no, I've never played it.
Oh,
It was a joke. This is-
I was always on
So
shirts.
Scott, how do you
obviously.
feel about groomsmen dancing the night away, little choreography?
I
dance?
think so. This is what would have happened at my wedding. I had 5 of us in my groom's party. 2 of us, one including me, would have been down. My other buddies, like your uncle, would have been like not a chance in hell he was going to do some choreographed dance. So I think it's got to be a very specific bridal party
Yeah.
where it's like a bunch of guys who've like been in dance their whole life or something that would
I don't
actually
think they
wanna
even
do it.
have to. I think if it's like something they want to do, I feel like anyone can be taught simple movements.
You just gotta commit to it.
You just gotta go big or go home.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna do the magic mic entrance at my wedding one day.
Dear God.
Anyways,
Brutal.
guys, gentlemen, all the dudes out there, every episode there's a special segment dedicated just to you. So make sure you tune into every episode, and we're giving you tips, tidbits, and tricks on how to be the best groom to ever exist.
So before we go into the last topic of the day, I wanted to slip our horror story in mid-episode. Change it up a little bit.
Oh, you just slipped the tip in.
Mid-episode, slipping the tip in. So I had to go back through my my through my Rolodex in
Casual.
my mind to try to come up with a horror story
Guys,
over the
juicing
years.
Rolodex right now too.
Rolodex.
Again.
I like that word. Fuck you. That pertained to photographer. And way back in the craw of my brain, I couldn't tell you what year, but I do remember. So I'll never forget. It was a hot in the venue. So for whatever reason, there was not good AC. So I found myself walking outside just to kind of like cool down on like one of them like summer evenings where it got dropped down to like the low 70s. And I remember seeing the photographer who was a male. I will not say their name. And he was like kind of like creepily looking at / grunting at his phone. And I was like,
What?
weird. So I went over to him and I'm like, what are you doing? And he went on to tell me that he'd been shooting weddings for 15 years. And in the morning, you know, girls are getting ready. And you would be amazed where how many times like nip slips at a wedding would happen. I guess to the tune of like hundreds of times, you know, you photograph brides where you can get a potential nip slip. And he had a private gallery on his phone of past client nip slips.
No.
He did.
Prison.
That guy,
Super gross.
that guy's a fucking lame.
That's not
Dude,
even
that was
like,
gross, dude.
it's
It-
beyond gross. Like,
How does he still have a job? Please tell me.
I
he
don't
still
know that
doesn't have
people
a
know
job.
that
Wait, he wasn't a cuff.
that's
No,
worse.
No, dude. God, don't put that out in the fucking app. No.
Oh my
This is- and
God.
honestly, he was an older photographer. My guess would be probably not still doing it anymore. But like, what's really weird about it, it's like one thing to be like a creepster and have it and all that, but to be like mid-wedding outside, like, oh yeah, look at these nips. Like, it was just a weird
That's
thing.
disgusting.
Yeah, it was weird, dude. It was a weird thing.
I'm gonna throw
How
up.
did you find out? He showed you?
Told me.
told him.
Yeah, he told me. I was like, this is. And at the time, I was probably.
Would
in
you
my
be
late-
like, dude, that's so cool. Send it to
And I
me."
was in my late 20s.
That's
I was like, dude.
disgusting.
Now, I do want to be clear. We didn't say any names, but to the best of my knowledge, we weren't talking about like any like kids or anything. They were all like adults, which is not okay. But I'm just. I want to.
I'm calling the police.
Just to be clear. Yeah. But yeah.
Makes
so
me not want to have a guy
photographers,
photographer.
particularly male photographers, you're going to get the nip slips. It's going to happen. You're going to get other slips. Delete that. Do not have some shady little.
Dude, that
Especially,
is
like-
PC, man.
So that is today's photography wedding horse.
That's a
I
nightmare.
can't believe
What
that.
would you guys do?
Call the police.
Yeah,
I'm-
I would honestly, yeah. If I found
I'm getting
that
you
out,
escorted
I
off
did
of the
that.
property at that point. I'm
Now
doing
that
everything in
makes
my
me not
power.
want to hire a male photographer.
And that's unfortunate because there are so many talented male photographers.
yeah.
And there's people like that. And I'm sure there's women too that are also
Oh,
messed up
yeah,
like that.
Probably. I wouldn't doubt that either.
I feel like you were going to go.
That's
When
terrible.
you said that.
I will.
That's like don't do that. Don't.
You
I
have
didn't
to
wanna get
maintain
you
a
guys
level
all
of
revved up.
professional.
It was just a story, but it was a true story.
I'm revved up.
It was true, and it was gross.
Like that's a
so.
person.
Right. It's disrespectful and unprofessional, to
Yes.
say the least.
So if you're watching this, man, you're fucking weird.
Yes. Hell yeah.
Not weird, messed up.
Okay, let's get off the creepster and on to our last segment of the day. And we alluded to it through the first half, but I really want this to be, believe it or not, centered around you two and not Nick and I. But I want you guys to just kind of discuss a little bit like the pacing of the day, the advantage of the first look, but really kind of explain how to properly set a bride's expectation based on her wants, needs, and the way her timeline goes. So, you know, you guys have done many weddings, both for Cufflink and probably otherwise. You know, talk through kind of what you think the proper pacing of the day is. And let's do this assuming, in this case, that it's a non-church wedding. So it's a wedding that'll take place at a venue somewhere, just because statistically 85, 90% of weddings are outside of, you
Yeah.
know, a church venue at this point. So let's kind of start there.
So usually we start out with getting ready photos, obviously. Usually I leave about an hour or 2 hours for that, depending on what all they want. If they want just basic getting ready and that's it and details, an hour's fine. If you have videography in there and you also want to do like little interviews or letter reading, I'll leave 2 hours.
So let's try to make this as real as possible. So I think like what I've seen most often, and obviously, you know, brides and grooms, like this is subject to change, but let's make the assumption that the reception is 6 to midnight and the ceremony is going to start at 5 o'clock
Yeah.
on the same location. So getting ready somewhere, and let's also assume that the average photographer builds in about 8 hours worth of coverage.
Yeah.
So an hour or two for getting ready,
Yeah.
typically speaking, what time would you recommend then we show up?
Normally we've been doing the most common, I would say it's like noon to like 9:30 or 9.
Yeah.
Has been the most common.
And I think one of the things that we do that a lot of photographers should adopt is our clients are gracious enough to feed all of us on long
my
days.
gosh,
And I
yeah.
also think that it's not the right thing to do to count the dinner hour against them when they're graciously providing us a meal. So when Julia says from noon to 9, that's not an 8-hour day, but we really look at it like, hey, we have one lunch hour, so we're giving them 8 full hours of actual
Yeah.
coverage.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're thinking noon. So, okay, so at that point, we'll call it 2 hours. So that brings you to 2 o'clock. You now have 3 hours until the ceremony starts at the venue. So what would come next, Krista?
I mean, honestly, after ceremony, we would be going right into, oh my God, I'm
Well,
having
in
a,
this case, ceremony would be later. So
Oh.
this would be like probably first look is probably where we'd be
oh,
going with
if
that.
we're going,
So have you done some first looks before?
yeah, we've done first looks before, for sure.
So when you do first looks, walk me through, generally speaking, the kind of time. And do you do it with just the groom? Have you done it with the parents or the dad? Like, walk me through kind of what you've seen.
Yeah, we've done it with both the groom and the dad. It just kind of depends on, what the bride wants. I think most commonly with the dad, I think with the groom, it's, we talked about earlier, it's hit or miss whether or not they want that.
It's all how formal they want
Yeah.
it to go. Yeah.
So usually I'm in charge of the groom or the dad, and Julia's got the bride. So I will let the guy know where he needs to be and when, and then once he comes down, like if we're in a hotel, he comes down to the lobby, and I'll be like, just hang out here. I'm gonna go check on the girls, see what's going on there. Julia will let me know when they're ready, and I will position them in a way to where wherever she's walking out of, he's not gonna get like a sneak peek before it's time for him
So
to
we're
turn.
at 2:00. Once all of this starts, Julia, roughly how long? I mean, probably not long, right? 10, 15 minutes tops. Like, how
Oh, yeah.
long is the actual first look moment or documenting?
I would
actually?
say at max 10 to 15 minutes. I don't think any more than that. And then usually afterwards we go straight into photos.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you say go straight into photos, is this at the same location? Is this out in the field? Is this party bus or?
It depends on what our client wants.
Okay.
If they are getting ready at a hotel and they do the first look at the hotel, we'll usually go somewhere else to do the couple portraits and bridal party photos after a first look. If they're all at one location, like a really nice venue, then they would do getting ready there, first look there, and pictures there usually. So it's like back to back to back.
So I want to pause for a second and I think maybe drop a couple of pro tips here. So if our clients decide that they want to go out on location, okay, I love that. I think that diversity in coverage and in photos is awesome and paramount to a successful wedding. However, things that clients should be thinking about, if you're leaving the premises, if you are going to places that are easily accessible by vehicle, like a park or private property, potentially in that case, everybody could potentially carpool and not ride together. If you have places in mind, I'm going to give examples in Cleveland, like the Art Museum or downtown by the lake,
The
or
arcade.
Cleveland Browns Stadium. You have to keep in mind, you have to consider the time because, if our photographers pull up to the art museum and they have to park and then find a spot and then lug their equipment a quarter mile, half a mile back down to the shoot location, people don't realize you are wasting 15, 20, 30, 40,
Yeah.
35 minutes of time. So in those scenarios, it would strongly be suggested that if you have a mode of transportation, like for your bridal party, whether it be a limo or a party bus, at least allowing your lead photographer and lead videographer to ride with. That way they pull up, everybody jumps off, you can be efficient with your time, you're back on the bus, and you're back to the next location.
Yeah, and that's one thing I highly recommend because we don't know if we're going to get parking. We don't know if we have to drive around constantly in circles to try to find parking in certain spots. The Cleveland Public Library, horrible to find a spot. The arcade can be difficult sometimes. Sometimes there's even like games going on, like Guardians games, Browns games, Cavs games, all up in Cleveland too. And let's say like you had your wedding the same day and you want to be downtown, then that even adds to it.
The traffic.
Where let's say the party bus gets there faster, then we're still stuck in traffic, could push things back quite a bit.
So we're out in the field, we're doing photos, hopefully 2 or 3 locations, we're getting some fun stuff. What time typically, if we're making the assumption the ceremony started at 5 o'clock at a venue, what time in a perfect world would you guys want to have the bridal party back at the venue before the ceremony starts?
I'd say like 30 minutes
30
Yeah.
minutes?
to 30 minutes at the least.
Okay.
If you can at max, give like if they want extra downtime, maybe an hour.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really up to our clients how much downtime they want before their ceremony. I know I've had some clients that are really, really nervous for their ceremony.
Sure.
Want to be there like an hour early just to like make sure everything's good, relax, take a breath, and then go
And
for
the
the
reason
ceremony.
I'm talking through this so rudimentary is because I want the brides to be thinking about this. Like, if you wanted to go to 2 or 3 locations and you know that the first look ended at 2:15 or 2:20,
Yeah.
and you want to be back at your venue by 4:30 at the latest, that gives you 2 hours and 15 minutes, which you have to consider drive time,
Yeah.
traffic, things going on in the city, parking. So I just want people to be kind of thinking
Yeah.
through these things. And then, of course, in this particular scenario, you end up shooting the ceremony clock, which would then give you roughly an hour from the end of the ceremony through the beginning of cocktail hour to do any family portraits, family photos, things of that nature. So the reason I went through this as rudimentary as I did is because now I want to talk about what it looks like when a couple wants to be old-fashioned and not see their bride until the moment they walk down the aisle. There is nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, as someone who got married in church, that's what I did, and I think it was a really nice moment. However, let's talk through the dynamic of how that changes the entire day and the time frame, and maybe what expectations clients should have if they fall into that category.
Okay. If they don't want to do a first look and do traditional and just see each other for the first time at the ceremony, I would recommend doing getting ready. That's fine, same as it is. But let's say you do getting ready at noon. You spend like 1 or 2 hours for getting ready. Right after that, I would plan for an early ceremony. Starting at like 2, around there. That's usually how it ends up going. They'll like getting ready 12, ceremony at 2. After the ceremony, directly into family photos. But make sure you have a list and it's not huge because you want to be able to get your bridal party and couple portraits afterwards.
Yeah.
If you have a huge family photo list, you're going to have less time for your own pictures and things like that. We go to ceremony, family, then we have time for bridal party and family portraits. Then we go into reception, cocktail hour, all that fun stuff. But keep in mind, your guests will be there for the ceremony. Then they have to leave, do whatever the heck they got to do, go back home or something. And if they flew from a different state or came from like a distant drive, they're just probably going to have to find some place to go chill or something before that reception
That's
starts.
where you might want to plan like a little spot for everybody to go and you know, something because, and then really, so I think that would be best case scenario. And you might get that on like a private property on a farm where they're like, hey, when you book our venue, you get it for 12 hours, and a bride can be maybe that creative with the pacing of her day. So now let's talk about what about the venue that says when you book our hall, you get exactly 7 hours, a 6-hour reception, and 1 hour prior to for your ceremony. So let's talk about the expectations. What should a bride expect where if that's the type of venue she booked, that's the scenario she's in, what does that do to her day, and how should that shape her expectations of her day?
I think you're going to probably lose out on some of the bridal portraits because it depends on how many family portraits you want. So if it's going to be a quick like 10, 15-minute process for family portraits, which it rarely is because, you know, the families get involved and mom wants, you know, cousin
And they talk,
Jan and
people
all that
leave.
stuff. Yeah, people
And I think
tracking
we
people
talked to our
down.
team, like we try to cheat it a little bit, right? Like it's possible to do groomsmen photos in one area, bridesmaid photos in another area.
Yeah.
So some of that's done.
Oh,
but
yeah.
anything that's going to be the full group together / bridal portraits of the bride and groom is not going to be able to be done in that case until after the ceremony.
Right.
And if you are trying to do family portraits, bridal party portraits, and bride and groom portraits, or even like solo portraits, I think it's just important for brides to understand that it is going to be a truncated amount of time. Us as professionals will do everything that we can to get them as much as possible, but I think we need to set the expectation right now as to what that looks like, because how can you expect to get what the other bride had 3 hours in a party bus around the entire city in 1 hour in one location right before your reception? So if that's your vibe and that's what's important to you, we get it, love it, no problems, but just have the correct expectation of what that might look like.
Yeah, and in that case, we usually do end up doing getting ready photos and then individual photos of the bride and the groom with their groomsmen and bridesmaids.
Yep.
Then there's like this ceremony, family photos, and they hurry up and do bridal party and couple portraits. But normally those couples usually only want a few big bridal party photos, and then they'll leave because then they try to focus on just themselves.
Just the couple, yeah.
And I'll bring Nick in. So as a relatively like religious guy or a God-fearing man, what is your thought on that? Like, would you do the church ceremony? Would you do outside the church? Are you okay with the first look? Would you not want to see your bride until the moment she's coming down the aisle? Have you ever thought about it?
I've thought about it. I
Okay.
have. And I like to think I'm traditional in the aspect that I would want to do that come down the aisle first look. I think that is a thing that's about as good as it gets. And that's where you're going to get true, genuine, real, authentic emotion of that first look. If you're out somewhere and you see her for the first time, yeah, you're going to be probably tear-jerked. But if you're standing at the altar with your boys, family, and friends, and then you see her, it's going to be real.
Are you going to do it?
Huh?
Are you going to do a first look?
No,
Me
I think
neither.
I would do the first time seeing at the ceremony. That's
too.
how I feel. That's
See?
what I like.
So
But
the tip would be to pick a venue where you get
Yeah.
elongated
That- yeah.
hours. That's gonna be
another thing, though, like there's another tip. If you don't do a first look, and let's say you only have an hour for bridal party and couple portraits, you can also throw in sunset photos.
Yes.
In the middle of the reception, if you want more couple photos of you two together.
I mean, and honestly, that's a great idea. It's golden hour, great photos. However,
As the DJ.
you have a 5-hour, reception, and you have to keep in mind that that's a very short, precious amount of time. So any amount of time that you are pulled away from your family, your friends, the reception, that's going to be up to each individual couple as to what's important or not
And
important.
as a DJ, if you are the couple and you're getting pulled away at 7:30 for golden hours, your dance floor is going to die down a little bit because you are the life of the party, and I hate to see the bride and groom go for 30 minutes.
It will get
Yeah.
lifted back up. when
It
they
will.
get back.
Right.
But you just got to know that it's
Yeah.
the way
Yeah,
it's
you
gonna go.
definitely can't take like more than 30 minutes
Oh,
to
yeah,
do it.
no.
It has to be, and that comes back onto the photographer. Like, how familiar are you with your gear and posing and stuff, where you can knock out these shots and let them go back.
Yeah.
So I think we'll wrap up today with these tips for the bride and groom that were given to me. There's only 4 of them, but I think they're actually good enough that I'm actually going to read the 4 because I think they're really good advice and they're sound. So the first one is be honest about what's important. Try your best to prioritize your shots and what matters most to you. I mean, I think that goes without saying, but when time is of the essence, you got to prioritize what's most important. Consider how long each session will take. Try to avoid back-to-back setups that fatigue everyone. So that makes sense. It's hot. You're tired. You're up early. If you want the day to keep flowing, not avoiding those shots people are going to be miserable. Number 3, we kind of touched on earlier. Trust your photographer to guide your timing, but communicate your priorities early, meaning before your wedding day. We need to know weeks and days before your wedding day, not hours and minutes. And then the last one is, by all means, factor in downtime for candid moments. Often the best photos aren't posed. And I think
Yeah.
that you guys both
Yeah.
spoke to that earlier. And I think in 2025, the vast majority of newlyweds would agree with that. So
Yeah.
I agree.
what do you got for me, Nikki? Wrap this thing up. Put a bow tie on it.
Listen, if you're getting married, keep it raw because raw is always better.
This guy.
Oh my.
I would have never threw it to you if I knew you were going to be such a piglet. So, that being
That's real,
said,
though. You have your mind in the gutter. That's as genuine as I can be. Just be yourself on your wedding day. Keep it raw.
Facts.
Krista, thank you for coming on. We appreciate you coming here today. We appreciate what you do with us for Cufflink. I pity you for having to drive 13 hours when this
Minnesota.
ends to go to Minnesota. But again, thank you guys so much.
Thanks for having me.
Julia, trucking your way through the sore throat. You did a great job today leading the photography side. That being said, it's just a wedding. We out.
Ow.
It's just a wedding podcast.